G'day everyone, welcome back to another episode of Crafted by Tim. I'm going to be using this one today to sample some knives. But first, I have to make one. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do a few hits, and I'm just going to expand this so to about where this file actually starts on this side, and I'm going to come in from the other side and do the exact same thing. That's right, I forgot to clamp this down. Right, I'll be back. Alright, back as if nothing ever happened. Just went inside to get a hat. Damn, it's bright out here. You don't really notice it until you actually go inside. You go inside and it's like, my eyes, I can't see. Aussie weather, huh? Starting to get where I want to. I'm just gonna sort of help tilt this back a little bit, so it more or less lines up, keeping the tang that's already got. Probably have to gonna hot cut that off a bit shorter, but as is, we're getting pretty close to a full hand sizing. Damn, that's hot. Yeah. Not as hot as last time. Our mole grips are losing grip. This is a bit hotter. Yep. Oh yeah. Wow. I cracked it. I don't know very much about tool steel, but I imagine this is one of the problems that you have with it. Looks like I'm going to have to do a hot cut there. So what I've decided to do is I'll just draw this out a little bit more. I'm just going to keep going because it seems like this is actually working. Eventually this is going to snap anyway, so... I mean, probably force it around there. No, there we go. How's that? Okay, so I'm going to switch to a smaller hammer now. Okay, so what we've got here is pretty well a finished knife. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let it cool for a bit. I'm going to take it inside, hit it with the angle grinder, I'm going to clean it up a bit, and we'll go from there. It's really important that you wear ear protection and eye protection. However, it might also be worth it to, I don't know, shove something up your nose, because last time I did this, I ended up with metal filings coming out of my nose for like the next 2 days. Might be worth it. On another note, for the entirety of this part, I use a reinforced grinding disc for my angle grinder. One of the main things that I forgot to do was grind down this edge, which is a pretty important part, because I need to draw a line along here, which is going to show me where my bevels are going to meet. So here I'm using a 5mm drill bit, only because I can't find a 5.5. I'm just going to etch the center line on this side, and then a center line on this side. Well, that's way off. 1 second. Okay, so I needed to use a 6mm. If you can see that, it's probably looks pretty messy. Now we're just going to do the other side. And now I'm just going to do a bit of a cleanup with a hand smooth. It's sharp. Crap. Hang on. I'll be back soon. Alright. I'm back. Okay, so I want everybody who saw that happening to go down into the comments and say, I saw that happening. And you can also throw your insults at me, calling me an idiot. Because I am, and I should have thought this all the way through. And this is one of the main reasons why, I'm not sure whether I've said it in one of the other videos, but the worst phrase that you could ever use is, I saw a few videos on YouTube. It's the most dangerous thing that you can ever say. Anyway, this isn't the end of the video, and I will finish this knife in just a moment. Okay, I'm on low battery, but away from yourself. Oops. The point is away from yourself. You should probably also be wearing gloves. I've already done the damage, it's not as if I can lose another finger. So, okay, new plan. Screw this top one. I'm just going to use the bottom one. So here's a good life lesson for you. If you first try something and you don't succeed, and then you try it a different way, and then you try it a different way, and you're still not getting anywhere, try changing it completely. So I've built this old-fashioned forge, and I'm just going to use this heat gun. Okay, cut that down to 6 bricks. I think I'm just going to quench it. At this point in time, this is probably the most dangerous part of my foot build, and if something's going to go wrong, it's going to be now. I mean, and things have already gone wrong. I've already stabbed myself, so... But not bad for my first quench. This is try number 2. Hopefully this one will go pretty well the same. I mean, hopefully with less spitting more. Okay, so I've only got about 5 minutes left of filming, and basically I'm just going to take off the top layer of this black oxide. And okay, so it occurs to me that I didn't actually tell you why I'm in this sort of mood. As you can probably see in this picture here, just here, this is my heat gun now, and it got kind of messed up. So yeah, a little bit peeved. 4 hours later. As of currently, the knives are now in the oven and they're baking at 200 degrees Celsius, that's about 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and they'll be baking there for about 2 hours. Okay, so it took me to slice my other thumb open with the other knife that I was making to realize this, but it's probably about time that I actually wear gloves whilst doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take up this temper color, the golden straw color that you get. I'm just going to do that with some medium grit sandpaper. I don't actually know exactly what grit this is, but yeah. Okay, so once again, I'm not entirely sure how well you're going to be able to see this, but it's time that I actually start to do the crossguard for this crap. Okay, so I'm just going to mark out where the blade starts, where it ends. This is just a piece of scrap. So I'm going to line up one edge with one end, and then I'm going to mark out where the top of the tang comes through. Trying to keep it as straight as possible. So now I'm going to try and judge how wide I want this to be. I want to keep it kind of centered. That looks about good. Okay. $7 mil on this side, out there. This may not be perfect, but I'll try and make it as perfect as possible when it comes to actually cutting and shaping it. I'll try and make it a little bit more rounded. But yeah, that's basically it. I'll mark where I want it to come off. of bad news. I've lost the hilt. In the last part, you saw me drilling out the holes for the tang of the blade. I've actually lost the cross guard that I was going to make that would hold, basically secure the bayonet to the end of a gun. However, I don't actually have that anymore. So, that's a bit of a shame, but it's the problem with living in Australia. Everything just goes walkabout sometimes. And now I've come up with a new idea where I'm going to do, rather than a stacked leather handle like I initially wanted to do, but leather is really hard to get your hands on in suburbia in Australia. So instead what I was going to do is I was going to do a stacked wood handle. So for the hilt I was actually going to continue, and instead of doing a hilt for a bayonet, I'll do a hilt for like a really chunky knife, and then I'm going to do stacked I'll do the hilt in jarrah, and then the crossguard in jarrah, and then I'm going to do the handle in pine, or I'd like to keep it Australian, so maybe Tasmanian oak or Australian ash, Victorian ash, or basically just whatever I can find. I'm going to go over this a little bit more to get a better clean-up afterwards, but as of currently, I think that's starting to look kind of good. So now that I have all of my pieces inside the lathe, I originally was going to do this with very fine stacks, like actual stacks rather than using ply, but turns out that wasn't going to work very well for me, so I've got each of my sacks. I've drilled a 4mm hole through them, and I've stuck a 4mm rod all the way from about halfway through here to halfway through here, and yeah. Thanks everybody who stuck through right till the end. As always, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you didn't, tell me all about it in the comments. And don't forget to tell me that I'm an idiot for stabbing myself. Yeah, I think that's pretty well it. Cheers.